Okay, good morning. My name is Brian Tuor. I'm a cable logger and forest engineer. This morning we're going to do some splicing. We're going to start out, we're going to splice some half-inch 6 by 26 wire rope. We're going to put a West Coast logger's eye in it, called a 3-tuck West Coast logger's eye, and we'll just kind of start from the beginning. First off, we get some gloves on, and we just have a short piece here. If you're learning to splice, better to use smaller rope so you can get the technique down, and later you can graduate to the big stuff. I've got a little homemade splicing vise here. I just put the wire in it, form the eye that we want, leave enough ends to tuck. This one, a little piece of metal goes over the top. We want to screw it down. In the woods, we would normally use just some railroad spikes and spike it to the end of a log or a stump. But it wants to be firmly held. And then the question is always where to start. You want to start as close to this block and the stump as possible. So we're going to go under those two first, and so we're going to pick that strand. So if we count down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. And we think if we counted right, we got the one on top. Of course, they all wind up on top somewhere. The first tuck, you want that to go, the strand to come out and go pretty much right angles to the cable. So we give it a little kink there, bring it out of the way, push the marlinspike in under 2 strands, roll it away from you to where the spike is pretty well flat, kink that cable, tuck the end down through that hole, pull it down, snap it in, keep tension on it, and roll the spike back up the line and tuck it in. That's the first tuck of the first strand. We're going to drop down the cable 1 strand. We're going to go under that strand and 1 more. So one of the strands that we're going under now is one of the strands we went under before. But you always go under 2 strands. Roll the spike ahead where it's level. Grab the next strand down the cable, unwrap it, give it a bit of a kink, drop it down through, pull it down in close, snap it in, keep tension on it, roll it, pull it around, roll the spike up, and that's the first tuck on number 2. Drop down 1 strand, go under 2, roll the spike ahead, pick up the next strand down the cable, give it a bit of a kink, tuck it down through, pull it in, roll it back up, pull your spike out, give it a bit of a tap to lock it back there. Once more, we're going to drop down 1, go under 2 strands, roll the spike ahead. Now this time we're going to tuck the core in there first, and then we're going to tuck strand number 4 in there. So the core and number 4 go in the same hole. The core is only going to get tucked once, just to get it out of the way. It basically provides little to anything as far as strength, but we need to get it out of the way. So we tuck that in, roll it up, roll the spike back ahead, locks that in, and now we're going to pick up the 4th strand, unroll it, give it a kink, put it down through the same hole, and roll it back up. Now this time we're going to leave the spike in. We're going to pull it back with the thumb around, unrolling the wire rope just a little bit, and we're going to go in the other side of the core. So it's the back door. We're going to go in the back door and we're going to pick up 2 strands. Okay, now we can pull this spike out. We're going to roll it up on top. It's still level, but now it's on top, and we're going to reach underneath and grab the first strand, give it a kink, and poke it up through the back door. We're going to poke it up the other way, through there, pull it in, keep tension on it. As we pull, roll the spike back, pull that strand, and now we're going to roll the spike ahead, and that locks this strand back here, and pull it out. Okay, now we're going to drop down one strand, go around the front door, pick up two, roll it ahead. Now we're going to take strand number one, tuck it in for the third time. That's the third and final tuck. Roll it in, pull it back up, roll the spike ahead again, and now we're going to tuck number 5 in that same hole. So number 1 and number 5 go in the same hole. The core and 4 went in the same hole. 1 and 5 go in the same hole. Tuck it down through, pull it down, snap it down in, roll it back. Now this time you want to roll it back, but don't try and push it too hard, or you'll push it underneath number 1. Okay, leave the spike in, pull it back, open up the back door, push the spike in and go under 2 strands around the back door, and pull the other spike out, roll that one up on top, reach under, grab number 2, kink it, and come up the back door. Now we're just going to repeat this same pattern over and over and over again. So it's nothing new, it's just the same pattern. Pull it up, grab a hold of it, put tension on it, pull it back towards the vise as you roll the spike. That rolls that strand in. Okay, roll the spike away from it, lock it in, pull it out, and drop down the wire rope. 1 strand, come in, go under 2, roll it ahead so it's level, tuck number 2 in for the 3rd time, pull it in, roll it back, roll the spike ahead, grab number 6, it goes in for the 1st time into the same hole as number 2 went in for the 3rd time. Pull it in, roll it back, leave the spike in, go in the back door, pick up 2. You want to try and make sure you don't get any core wires, but looks like maybe we're going to. Pick up 2 strands, check. We got a core wire, so we just poke this spike in outside of those wires, pull that one out, roll the spike ahead, reach through, grab number 3, kink it, put it up through the back door, roll it in, roll the spike ahead. Now since we don't have any more strands to go in there with number 3, we don't have to worry about that. So we're going to come down, drop down 1, go under 2, roll it ahead, put the strand down through, tuck it in, keep tension on it, pull it back, and leave the spike in, pull back on it, pick up 2 strands from the back door, roll it ahead, reach under, grab number 4. Now you've got 2 strands coming out the same hole. One's the core, one's number 4. It's only been tucked once, that's the one you want. Give it a bit of a kink, poke it up through the back door, roll the spike back into it, keeping tension on it so it pulls that tuck in, roll it ahead, pull it out, drop down 1, pick up 2, kind of a familiar pattern by now, roll it ahead, poke the end down through, grab it, snap it in, keep tension on it, pull it up, roll it in, leave the spike in, Go in the back door with the other spike. Pick up 2. We got a wire, a core wire, so we go in beside it, drop it out. We're going to roll the spike up on top. There again, we've got 2 strands coming out the same hole. We want to make sure we get the second one, the one that's only been tucked once. Kink it back, push it up through, roll the spike back, roll it away, pull it out, drop down 1, pick up 2, roll the spike ahead. Now we got some core there, so we're going to have to get outside of it with the other spike, roll it ahead, put number 5 in for the 3rd time, pull it in, roll it back, leave the spike in, go in the back door, the other side of the core with that spike, pick up 2, roll it ahead, grab number 6. There again, 2 strands coming out the same hole. Make sure you get the one that's only been tucked once. That's number 6. Kink it, come up through the back door, pull it in, roll it in, roll your spike down, drop down this cable 1 strand, pick up 2, roll the spike ahead, put number 6 in for the 3rd time, roll it up, pull your spike, and you're done. Okay, now you can tell if everything's right. The strands go in sequence, 1, 2, 3, core 4, 5, 6, and they come out the core first, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, each 1 strand apart from the other. Okay, to finish that off, we'll just cut those off fairly short. Usually probably leave 1 inch or 2. In normal logging wear, those would wear off in time. But that splice will hold somewhere between 80 and 90% of the ultimate strength of the wire rope. You might think, well, you've lost 10%, but in actual fact, at 67%, you start to do damage to the rope. You start to stretch wires, it starts to fail at about 67. So 90%, 80%, 90% is plenty strong. Very, very seldom have I ever seen an eye fail just from overtension. But when it did, the whole line was overtensioned and destroyed. We just take it out. We maybe have a quick look at it. When you take it out of the vise, it's going to open up a little bit. Some people would look at it and say, oh, well, that's not a very tight splice, but in actual fact it is. This rolls away a little, leaves a bit of a gap here, but this will all pull in, even out, and that's a good eye there. If you look at the tucks, they're very tight in to the cable. So there's nothing wrong with that splice. That'll pull in and last for a long time.